This is ABC7 News Weekend Edition. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jess Dowdrick. Adam Cellini has the night off. Topping our news tonight, more than 500,000 people in Florida are living with Alzheimer's disease, and the state has the second highest prevalence of the disease in the country. That's why more than 100 people from across the state are traveling to Tallahassee this week to ask legislatures to make Alzheimer's funding and research a top priority. ABC7's Erica Jackson shares how half a dozen people from the Suncoast will be making a difference.
The Alzheimer's Association reports 1 out of every 10 people in Florida are living with Alzheimer's. The organization believes everyone in the U.S. is somehow affected by the disease, and the number of patients is expected to grow within the next decade.
Alzheimer's disease isn't an incurable disease. It's a disease that we just haven't found a cure for yet.
Finding the cure for Alzheimer's is a priority for Ron Wheeler. He lost his mom, Barbara, to the disease 7 years ago. He believes the cure is out there, but researchers haven't tried hard enough.
We've done a tremendous job of making progress in cancer and heart disease and AIDS to make those diseases manageable and to find cures, but we haven't for Alzheimer's.
We really feel a true sense of responsibility so that we can really truly serve those affected by the disease.
Serena Duncan and more than 150 advocates from across the state will leave for Tallahassee on Tuesday to fight for Alzheimer's disease research and funding. She says the group has 4 main priorities, but will focus on supporting respite funding to benefit the 1.1 million caregivers of Alzheimer's patients in the state. Many patients require 24-hour care, especially while living with the late stages of the disease.
So it allows caregivers to take a slight break from the day-to-day care for their loved ones.
The fight doesn't stop there. Both Wheeler and Duncan plan to focus on funding at the federal level by meeting with Congressman Vern Buchanan and other representatives in Washington later this year. They believe the first step to finding a cure is education. Tell
them our story and have them be so receptive to us and listen to us, and then see that translate into real legislation, real funding, and a real impact.
It's unclear if Alzheimer's can be prevented, but the association recommends exercising and maintaining strong social relationships to lower your risk of Alzheimer's and dementia. Reporting in the newsroom, Erica Jackson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Thanks, Erica. Coming up this week, legislative committees will take up bills on 2 of the most important issues lawmakers are facing: hurricanes and opioids. A select House committee is considering more than 150 recommendations on how to better prepare for hurricanes and their aftermaths. Included in that list of recommendations:
extending a major toll road all the way to the Georgia state line. They're also considering things about like creating gas reserves and requiring gas stations to charge the same price for all types of gas during a state of emergency.
Another big topic being tackled this week: opioids. Nearly 6,000 people died in Florida from opioid overdoses in 2016. The bill being heard by the Senate Health Policy Committee would limit opioid prescriptions to a 3-day supply or 7-day supply. All medical professionals would have to check a state prescription drug database to see patients' histories before writing an opioid prescription. Nearly 4 months after Hurricane Irma hit the Suncoast, a Sarasota Park has reopened. Rothenbach Park at High Point back open for its first weekend since being used as a staging site for debris. That park is located on Bee Ridge Road. It was a nice day to be outside at that park today as the temperatures have gotten a little cooler. Now let's go to Wendy Ross for a first check on your first alert weather.
Jess, I hope people got outside today. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. Lots and lots of sunshine. When you woke up this morning, there wasn't even a cloud in the sky. And so our temperatures were on the chilly side, of course, but at least it was a beautiful day. And as you can see, our temperatures right now, mostly in the 50s, mid 50s, right along the coastline. As you move farther inland, temperatures may be a degree or so warmer, but it's going to be another chilly night tonight. The good news is last night we got down to 40 degrees for the low, but tonight we're going to see our overnight low at 43. That's an improvement. Believe me, you're going to feel the difference. What we're looking at right now are temperatures 55 degrees, clear skies, dew point at 40 degrees, and our humidity at 57%. So it's very crisp feeling out there. Those winds right now are fairly calm. They're coming in out of the north at around 7 miles per hour. Tomorrow's the holiday. We'll let you know what we can expect then. That's all coming up in just a few minutes. Jess?
Thank you, Wendy. Sarasota County officials have opened up cold weather shelters through the weekend for those in need. They include the Salvation Army on 10th Street in Sarasota, Grace United Methodist Church on Eastfield Avenue in Venice, and New Hope Community Church on South Biscayne Drive in Northport. And in Manatee County, the Manatee County Salvation Army Shelter is also open on 14th Street West in Bradenton. A developing story in the Tampa Bay area tonight. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office is responding to a vessel fire in the Port Richey Canal. That's where the SunCruz casino caught on fire with 50 people on board. Luckily, all passengers were able to make it to shore. The cause of the fire is currently under investigation. Rough waters forced an emergency rescue Saturday. The Venice Fire Department receiving a call around 4 p.m. yesterday after a concerned resident near the South Jetty noticed a sailboat in heavy seas, seemingly dead in the water. A rescue boat was launched out into 7 to 9 foot seas. The sailboat was found to be tangled around crab trap lines with 2 passengers on board.
If you're fighting Mother Nature's fury, call 911 because things could get worse. And the seas actually did get worse yesterday. So that rescue was made in about 7 to 10 foot of water. That's quite a bit of wave to be navigating out there, especially if you're anchored up, frozen in a position, tangled in lines. A lot can go wrong if something like that happens.
Firefighters made several attempts to board the crippled vessel, but were unable to get close due to the rough conditions. Rescuers had to free the sailboat by cutting the entangled crab lines. Once free, the sailboat was towed to the crow's nest. The body of a missing Tampa Bay man has been recovered after an extensive search overnight. Tampa police say Joshua Ford was supposed to only be gone for the day, fishing in an area of Old Tampa Bay near the Courtney Campbell Causeway. But when it was time to return home, he failed to show up. His body and canoe were later discovered in the waters just south of Rocky Point. This is an active and ongoing investigation. Hawaii's false incoming missile alert not only alarmed residents and tourists, it also laid bare vulnerabilities. For one, the White House scrambled to respond without having tested any formal response plans to missile attacks on a senior level. And as ABC's Mark Remilliard reports, it took way too long to correct the false alarm.
The U.S. Pacific Command has detected a missile threat to Hawaii.
The horrifying alarm sweeping over Hawaii Saturday morning.
This is not a drill. If you are indoors, stay indoors.
Reaching national security concerns. Residents heading for bunkers, tourists marching into basements, hunkering down, fearing the worst.
Because of what's been going on in North Korea and things, you know, I tended to take it seriously at first.
Real fears stoked by North Korea's ballistic missile launches.
We're actually closer, in my view, to a nuclear war with North Korea and in that region than we've ever been.
Tensions between the U.S. and North Korea have increased even more recently after President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un taunted each other over their nuclear arsenals.
Kim Jong-un was the happiest guy in the world yesterday because his nuclear program has done what he wanted it to do, and that is be able to strike fear in the hearts of the American people.
The people of Hawaii are paying the price now for decades of failed leadership in this country, of failure to directly negotiate to prevent us from getting to this point where we're dealing with this threat today.
Hawaii residents lived with the threat for 38 minutes on Saturday. That's how long it took to correct the false alarm. The Federal Communications Commission director saying that's unacceptable, releasing this statement. Federal, state, and local officials throughout the country need to work together to identify any vulnerabilities to false alerts and do what's necessary to fix them. The FCC and Hawaii state lawmakers are launching investigations. Mark Remillard, ABC News, New York.
Still to come here on ABC7, a push to accelerate power restoration in Puerto Rico, what an emergency company is doing to assist, and a remarkable video overnight, a plane veering off the runway after landing and heading straight for a cliff.
Planning a Carnival fantasy cruise out of Mobile? Then check out the park and cruise packages at the luxurious Battle House and Renaissance Riverview Plaza hotels. Stay at the Battle House for $169 per night or the Riverview Plaza for just $149 per night and leave your car for the duration of your cruise. Includes transportation to and from the cruise terminal. If you're cruising out of Mobile, come stay with us. Call 1-800-MARRIOTT or visit Marriott.com now.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. We're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
Her story too. It is replete with women who realize the importance of their voices, activists who carried the cause throughout history. Marcella Howard, founding executive director of In Our Own Voices. Dean Haywood, executive director of Women with a Vision.
Sunday morning at 7:30 on ABC7.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's at FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
A lot of important work needs to be done in Washington this week, but as ABC's Brian Clark reports, all of that may be overshadowed by President Donald Trump's alleged remarks about Haiti and African countries.
No end to the firestorm over President Trump reportedly using an expletive that many describe as racist.
Do you think President Trump is a racist?
I think he is a racist.
Civil rights activist and Congressman John Lewis responding to multiple accounts of an Oval Office meeting on Thursday about a proposed immigration deal that included protections for young immigrants from African countries and Haiti. The president reportedly saying, "Why are we having all these people from expletive countries come here?" The president has vaguely denied making those comments. Now some of his closest supporters deny he ever said them at all.
Are you saying the president did not use the word that has been so widely reported?
I'm telling you he did not use that word, George, and I'm telling you it's a gross misrepresentation.
The allegedly derogatory comments are complicating efforts to seal a deal with Democrats to permanently spare hundreds of thousands of young immigrants from deportation under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, or DACA. President Trump planned to shut the program down in March and challenge Congress to come up with a replacement. A recent court order is keeping the program alive for people already enrolled. Still, the president tweeting Sunday morning, DACA is probably dead because the Democrats don't really want it. They just want to talk and take desperately needed money away from our military. But it was the president who rejected a bipartisan compromise on DACA this past week, a deal that Democrats are insisting must be part of a broader effort to fund the government by this Friday's deadline. Democratic votes are needed to avoid a government shutdown. Brian Clark, ABC News, New York.
More help is on the way to Puerto Rico tonight to aid in power restoration efforts. Duke Energy of Florida sending out more than 200 employees today from St. Petersburg. They join the Puerto Rico Electric Company, FEMA, and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. The U.S. territory was hit hard by Hurricane Maria last September, and hundreds of thousands of people are still without electricity there. Passengers aboard a Pegasus Airlines flight in Turkey experienced some terrifying moments Saturday when their plane skidded off the runway. The nose of the plane dangling precariously off a muddy cliff just feet from the sea. Luckily, all 162 passengers on board were able to get off the plane safely, but now comes the hard part, moving it back safely. Investigators are all working to determine why the plane left the runway. Wendy Ross joins us with the first alert weather forecast now. Wendy, we know it's colder outside. How much longer are we going to have to deal with this?
Oh, my goodness. Well, you know, it is colder, but the great news about Florida is that we bounce back pretty quickly, and that's going to happen again today because we have high pressure in the Midwest, and it is helping to bring about some changes in our weather. Our winds, and that will help to warm us up. So what we're going to be seeing is it's not going to be as cold tonight, starting tonight, and then into tomorrow as well. We're also going to be seeing those winds shifting, as I just mentioned, and so that's going to help to bring about a shift in the winds, will help to warm us up just a little bit, and I'm talking incrementally here, but it will be a perfect day to be outdoors tomorrow, and there are all sorts of activities planned for Martin Luther King Day tomorrow, and it is going to be a great day to be outside. And so today was on the chilly side. We started off with an overnight low of 39 degrees, clear skies. We had those clear skies, lots and lots of sunshine all day, 60 degrees, the daytime high. And right now we are back down into the mid-50s, so we are still on the chilly side and just about everywhere reporting either 55, 56, or 57 degrees, and we are going to continue to see our temperatures dropping into the 40s for the overnight lows. And we're also looking at the winds along the beaches are a little bit higher, 14-mile-per-hour winds in Anna Maria, and then as you get onshore, you're noticing that the winds are not nearly as strong. And this is true all the way down through the southern part of our viewing area, and so we're going to continue to watch these winds dying down throughout the nighttime hours. We've got very dry conditions sitting across the state of Florida, a little bit of moisture being infused over the southern central part of the state, but our viewing area very, very dry, so the chances for rain are certainly not very good. And what we've got going on are just the clouds have already moved on down to the south. Because of the shift in the winds, we'll start to see a little bit more of this onshore flow, and that will help to bring about some very scattered rains along the east coast of Florida. A little bit of cloud cover coming on through, but for us, we're going to be seeing mostly sunny skies once again tomorrow. On Tuesday, we may get a passing cloud, but the rain is far away. We have a 20% chance of showers for Wednesday as another cold front gets ready to move on in. So we're going to enjoy some warmer weather for a couple of days, and then we get another infusion of some colder conditions coming through. 55 degrees right now for us. We've got dew points at 40 degrees, 57% humidity. Winds are out of the north at 7 miles per hour. And as you can see, temperatures in the mid-50s to upper 50s at this hour, and we are looking at clear skies all across our area. So overnight, we're going to be seeing our temperatures dropping down into the 40s once again. Mostly clear skies, though, and we do not have any advisories that are being posted for our area. Just small craft should exercise caution for tomorrow, and we're looking at winds out of the north at 15 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet, and it will be moderate as far as the choppiness out on the waterways for tomorrow. So tonight, mostly clear skies, 43 for the overnight low. Normally we're 52, so quite a far cry from normal. And then tomorrow we climb to a high of 66. Lots of sunshine. Those winds are shifting around out of the north-northeast. That will help to warm us up for Tuesday. Then the next cold front comes in on Wednesday. We're really going to feel it on Thursday because that's 58 degrees will be the daytime high. Temperatures back down into the 30s and 40s. And then we bounce right back just in time for next weekend. Jess?
Now, sports.
Thanks, Wendy. A San Antonio man is in custody after threatening a mass shooting during today's Pittsburgh Steelers playoff game at a packed Heinz Field. Police say the suspect, 30-year-old Chungol threatened to kill NFL players, fans, and himself during the game. On Thursday, a news station in Pittsburgh received the threat that read in part, quote, "This Sunday's playoff game in Pittsburgh is going to be like no other. The Steelers game will be packed, and that's when I plan on killing Steelers football players and fans before taking my own pitiful life." The director of security for Heinz Field also getting a similar threat. The FBI tracked the threats back to Congo. The game went on as planned. The Jaguars traveling to Pittsburgh for the chance to take on the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game. The Jacksonville Jaguars dominating the first half. Their first drive, 4th and goal from the Steelers 1, and it's Leonard Fournette touchdown run, making it 7-0 Jaguars. Later in the first, Steelers with it at the Jags 47. Roethlisberger is hit by Yannick Ngakoue. Fumble is scooped up by Telvin Smith. He goes 50 yards for the score. It's 28-14 Jacksonville at half. The Steelers answer in the second half, down by 2 scores. In the fourth, 4th and 5, Ben Roethlisberger steps up and throws deep to Antonio Brown, who hauls in the 43-yard touchdown. But the Jaguars hold on to win 45-42. The Jacksonville Jaguars will travel to New England next Sunday to take on last year's Super Bowl champs for the AFC Championship game. Kickoff is at 3:05. Happening now, the New Orleans Saints are in Minneapolis taking on the Minnesota Vikings, fighting for the chance to take on the Philadelphia Eagles in next week's NFC Championship game. In the third, the Vikings are on top, 17-0. The winner of that game will travel to Philadelphia next Sunday. Kickoff is at 6:40. On to the PGA Tour. Golf Channel cameramen go on strike and walk out on covering the Sony Open. But the show must go on. Today marks the final round. Let's take a look at that current leaderboard. America's Tom Hoge leading the pack at 17 under par. A 3-way tie for third between James Hahn, Patton Kizzire, and Brian Harman. Russell Knox rounding up that top 5. There's a 2-way tie for 6th place at this point, Chris Kirk and Gary Woodland. Then a 3-way tie for 8th place, Smith, Stanley, and Stewart. The last group teed off at 4:30 today. We'll have those final standings tonight at 11. More to come here on ABC7. Stay with us.
Florida Studio Theater presents the 8-time Tony Award winner Once, held over by popular demand. Captivating and breathtaking, Once is an unforgettable story about going for your dreams and the power of music to connect us all. Critics are calling Once engaging and heartwarming, outstanding, and a flawless production. Audiences are calling it phenomenal and better than Broadway. Once must close January 19th. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes, B, console her,
don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Thank you.
The skills you develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you a head start on your career. Gain practical experience with technology and equipment that will give you a leg up in the civilian world. Learn critical leadership skills and to be part of a team. Serve your community and your country part-time while earning money for an education. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn about the paid training and career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app.
Take a look at this. A Texas woman decided to stand her ground when two armed robbers broke into her home. Surveillance video shows Kaylee Machka bursting out of her front door and chasing away one of the men with a belt. At the same time, Machka's roommates were returning home. They walked in and immediately were met by one of the robbers trying to get away. Even more amazing, the two had woken Machka. She had been recovering from the flu. However, despite this woman's bravery, law enforcement experts advise that if you are a victim of an armed robbery, it's usually best to cooperate with the thieves. Oh. She's a very brave woman.
Very brave.
I definitely wouldn't be able to do that.
But that's just adrenaline. That's just adrenaline working,
that's
because that's the only reason that happened. If she was able to overcome the flu to do something like that, bless her.
I know, even with the flu.
Oh
wow.
My gosh, oh my God. Well, we are looking at cold weather once again tonight, but it is going to be just slightly warmer tonight. We're expecting an overnight low of 43 degrees. Tomorrow, though, oh, it's going to be beautiful tomorrow. Please go outside. Take advantage of all the great things going on in our area. 66 for the high tomorrow. Lots of sunshine.
Thank you, Wendy, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you again at 11.